Okay, so welcome back to another Thursday on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host, Yeka, and this week we're talking about cleansing a new space. Our topic this week comes from Bree, who asks, if it applies to your practice, how do you cleanse and/or banish unwanted energy when moving into a new space? Any nuance between initial versus routine cleansing of the space? So it does apply for my practice. When I move into a new space, there's kind of two steps involved with that. And the order for me doesn't really matter that much. The first is if there's time, and of course it really depends on the circumstances of the moving, but I like to do a little bit of cleaning while it's still empty and I haven't moved any of my stuff in yet. And even if that's just sweeping the floor or wiping the countertops or doing something like that, even though hopefully it was cleaned very well before by whoever the previous tenants were moving out and the landlord and all of that, but actually physically doing a little bit of cleaning for me helps with that symbology. Now the next thing that I like to do is I actually like to smudge. So that would be burning, and usually it's going to be a sage or juniper or a combination of that, and they come in bundles, which I'll either make, or lots of people sell smudge sticks around here. It's like a really common thing. They go up to Taos, they come back down, and and they kind of peddle it on the streets, but it's available everywhere. Like even the most like Smith's or Albertsons grocery stores carry them. So everybody's got them. And they're little bundles of the herbs, and you light it on fire and then let it smoke, and then you give it a little bit of air. So I like to walk from room to room. For me, the direction doesn't mean much. Depending on, it doesn't matter what room I start in, but I like to go in and just wave the smoke around the room, and during that time focus on just thinking about letting all the old leave, not only for what was in the house before, but for whatever was happening in my life, my family's life, before we moved to this new place. So both cleansing the house and cleansing myself. Then Bree asks about any kind of differences between the initial move-in and then, subsequent as you're living in it. So I don't smudge anymore. The only time I ever smudge was when I'm moving in for the first time. But I do really like to do cleaning as with intention. So after a big project, after a big period where there was a lot going on, I don't feel like I can really rest until I have cleaned the space again. And so I will clean it physically, right? I'll get up and do the real deep cleaning and put some sort of energetic music on and just think about letting and visualize letting all that kind of blocked up stuff go. So it's not there's no kind of formal spell work that I do with it, but just being aware and conscious of it. So I think that that's a great topic for the end of the year. So we'll have subs next week, and then we'll have the winter break for us, and we'll be moving into next year. And I think that the end of the year is a wonderful letting go and cleansing and moving on period. So what do you guys think? Do you have any particular practices that you do, anything like that? Let us know in the comments below, and I will see you all next year. So take care.